folks, Beth from My Half Acre Homestead here. People have been asking me to do this, and I make my own laundry soap, I make my own scouring powder, and I make my own fabric softener. So today I'm going to do it for you, okay? And it's all going to be in one video. So first step is the laundry soap, and for that you are going to need borax, Arm & Hammer washing soda, and a bar of Sunlight soap. Now if you live in the States, this recipe will call for a half a bar of Fell's Naphtha soap. These bars of Sunlight are the regular size of a hand bar, so they're not not as big as the Fell's Naphtha. You're going to need a 3-gallon pail. I know you can make bigger, but we don't need to. Who wants to carry that around? We need a 3-gallon pail, 3/4 full of hot water, and I will show you the rest in a minute. So, borax, Arm & Hammer washing soda, and Sunlight, Fell's Naphtha, or even Ivory soap. And I'll get right back to you. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grate this bar of soap on a cheese grater. Now, for this I use the big grater, but you can use the small one. If you don't like liquid laundry soap, you can make this into a powder. And all you have to do is take the small side of the grater and grate an entire bar of Fell's Naphtha soap, put it in a jar, like shake it up, but you want to grate it on the small side for the dry laundry soap. Put it in a jar with 1 cup of Arm & Hammer washing soda and 1 cup of borax powder. Shake it up, and you use that in your laundry 1 tablespoon at a time for a medium to large load. 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons for an extra large load. I just prefer liquid because when I make the liquid laundry soap, I wash a lot of my clothes in cold, and washing soda does not necessarily break down very well in cold water. So if you do it liquid wise, it'll break down easier. Now, one thing I am going to tell you about this soap is I've been using it for months and months and months. Now, the first batch you make, you're going to get all excited and you're going to go do a load of laundry, and you're going to put your 1/2 cup to 3/4 of a cup of gel in the water, and you're going to watch it you're going to watch it agitate. This is not a high sudsing soap, okay? So you do not get a lot of suds because there isn't a lot of phosphates. This is about clean, not about suds. And besides, the more suds you have, the more rinsing agent you need. Okay, and we're going to do fabric softener too. So here is my grated bar. It's about 75 grams, not even 75, 48 grams of Sunlight soap. And we're going to take it over to the stove, and I'm going to show you what to do with it next. Okay, here we're at the stove, and I have probably 4 cups of hot water. The amount doesn't matter as long as it is hot and partially boiling, so that you are going to melt this soap. Okay, this is why I didn't mind putting it in bigger curls. Now you have to be careful, because if this comes to a boil too quick, it'll foam right over. But if you look, I pre-boiled this water, and it starts to melt. It goes in clumps, but you want this in a clear, well, it's not going to be clear, but you want this to have no lumps in it. So we're going to go ahead, and we're just going to keep stirring this, and it takes, probably 3 or 4 minutes. So we'll come back when this is all dissolved. Here we are. For future reference, I thought I would save time by putting the grated soap into hot water. Don't do that. It doesn't work. It clumps together. So you want your water to be cold. You add your soap flakes and then bring it up to temperature until it melts. Now, in this bucket, this is a 3-gallon ice cream pail, and in this bucket it's 3/4 full of warm water. And we're going to mix a 1/2 cup of borax. We're just going to stir it till it dissolves, and we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of So Clean Arm & Hammer washing soda. Now the water has to be warm so that it dissolves well. Now, the reason I'm not making a 5-gallon pail If you live in the States and you want to make a 5-gallon pail because you have lots of kids or whatever, then you just use a cup each of the borax and the washing soda, and you use 1 full bar of Fels Naphtha laundry soap, or 2 bars of Sunlight, or 2 bars of Ivory. Okay? And like I said, this is not a high sudsing, so I can tell this is not, this is dissolved, excuse me, and we're just going to pour this hot melted soap in there. I'm going to top it up in a little bit, up to make it a full 3 gallons. Now, as my mother-in-law who's holding the camera can tell you, this smells lovely. It doesn't smell highly perfumed. It is just nice, clean smell. Now, right now, as you can see, this is just liquid. Mom will give a shot to the inside. This is just liquid, okay? What it's going to look like tomorrow, when you let that sit, it is going to look like this. This is your laundry gel, and this is all I put in a normal size load. I know it looks nasty, but if you want to use a jelly jar and put a jelly jar in for a large or extra large load, that's fine. Remember, this is not high sudsing. This is about clean, not about perfume, not about suds. Besides, again, the more suds you have, the more you have to rinse it. All right? That's how you make laundry soap. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail, and your laundry soap for the next month is done. All right, on to the fabric softener portion of this, making your own cleaning products. Fabric softener can be as simple as dunking a sponge into vinegar and throwing it in your dryer. But I like to do things a little bit more fancy, so I'm going to show you how I make fabric softener. Once again, this does not perfume your clothes. This is mostly for people who don't like a lot of perfume. It's really simple, really cheap. I'm going to put in 1 pint or a half liter of water and an equal amount of plain white vinegar. Well, I'll just have to wipe that vinegar up with the sponge and throw it in the dryer. Oh, geez, I'm spilling it all over the bloody place. Anyway, equal amounts of water and vinegar. Okay, now technically, that you can put in your Downy ball up to the line, and that will deodorize and soften your clothes. Okay, but I add 1 capful of vegetable-based glycerin. What this does is it just helps it to cling to the clothes a little better. Okay, because I'm going to add scent. And this is, this was, I think, $3.99, and this is $7.99. Now, this bottle is $7.99. It is an essential oil. It's citrus. It's called Sweet Orange. And I would advise against using dark essential oils like patchouli or anything that may eventually stain your clothes. But in a 1 liter bottle, half full of vinegar, half full of water, 1 cap of glycerin, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 drops of your essential oil scent. Now, oh, that smells good. Now, at first the vinegar overpowers the orange scent a little bit. You do not want to over-scent your clothes because heat brings out the smell more. Okay? That smells nice. I'll let my mother-in-law smell it in a minute. So, 10 drops of scented essential oil. You can use lavender, and you get this in your drugstore. And you get this in your drugstore. Now, all you have to do is when you use it, you can dunk a sponge in there, wring it back into the jar, and then throw your sponge in the dryer if you're used to dryer sheets. Or you fill your Downy ball or your fabric softener ball right up to the line. You only need a couple of tablespoons of this stuff, and throw that in the wash. Fabric softener. I'm going to say a bottle of fabric softener like this will do 40 loads. And I'm going to say it costs no more with the oil and the 1 cap of glycerin and the pint of vinegar probably costs no more than $1.50. And it'll do you 40 loads, maybe even 99 cents. All right, so fabric softener. And no chemicals, folks. Just glycerin, essential oil, vinegar, and water. All right, so we'll go on to the next one. See you in a bit. Folks, we're back. Now, for the final part. And oh, by the way, if you want glass cleaner, that you don't want all the chemicals because you may want to use it on the shelves inside your fridge. A lot of people have glass shelves in their fridge now. Half vinegar, half water. 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup water, or 1 cup vinegar to 3 cups water, depending on how powerful it is. And like I said, as soon as the vinegar evaporates, the smell goes. And it won't taint your food. You don't have to worry about it getting up your nose or anything like that because it's just vinegar and water. That'll clean just about anything. Anyway, scouring powder. We're going to take, how dry is this? We're going to, this measures about a cup. I'm just using it because it's, now, good old-fashioned, no-name baking soda. We're going to do about a cup of baking soda. Now, what I have here is just a chip dip jar, and you can't see on the lid, but I've poked some holes in the bottom in the lid with a nail. And this is, most things like Comet, or excuse me, most scouring powders. Now that really filled that up. Most scouring powders have things in them that make them sit in the bottom of the elbows of drains. And they're loaded with chemicals and stuff. And if you want to keep your stuff as clear as possible or as natural as possible, now we have 1 cup of baking soda and 1/2 cup of borax. Just about right, and I forgot to get my stirrer. Now, when I first started doing this, I used half borax, half baking soda, and I just kept, because borax can get pricey, but I just kept knocking it down, the borax down, until it really worked well, but with mostly baking soda. Now, most people can use just baking soda, but borax, you know, man, I use this stuff to clean my toilets. I'm not kidding. And I live in the country where I have calcium buildup, and this stuff works just fine. We may want to put a little more borax in there. Anything like 2/3 baking soda, 1/3 borax will work. I just like less borax. But I'm going to add a little bit more, I think. There we go. Okay, so you just screw this on. Label the jar so nobody thinks it's chip dip, not that they would. Now, this is an old roasting pan lid that I'm hoping it's not going to make a liar out of me, because I did put less borax than normal. This is an old roasting pan lid. I found the bottom of my cupboard, and it's got some stains on it. And I just want to show you, and this is not just good for sinks and stove tops and toilets. You can use this on your dishes. My husband likes big jars of iced tea. And he makes it, we make our own, and it's really, he likes it really strong, and it leaves rings. And even with a scrub brush, you can't get the tea out. So what I do is I put a little bit of this in the bottom of the jar and use a brush. So I'm just going to show you how this works. Got my handy dandy sponge here. I'm going to dip it in a little bit of water. Now, if you want to bring the camera over here, I'm going to show you just how well, look at this. Now, I don't know how old that bloody stain is on this old roasting pan lid. This isn't an old enamel lid. Like I said, I use this on my cast iron frying pans. I use it on my glass stove top. I use it on my enamels. I use it on my canning jars to make sure every little stain is out. Now, I'm just going to give this a quick rinse. This is an extremely old roasting pan lid. This was my mother's, and this has been around longer than me. I'm just going to give this a rinse. Now, I probably could have got this a lot cleaner, but I just did it for a demonstration purpose only.
Oh yeah, I can see the difference.
Look at the difference.
Yep.
Borax and baking soda, folks. Cleans just about everything. Forget Mr. Magic Eraser, okay? Oh, excuse me, I didn't say that. Did I say that? Anyway, we have laundry soap. We have, I've poured it in a jug, fabric softener, and we have scouring powder. And all with very few products. I bet you could make laundry soap, fabric softener, and scouring powder to last you a year for under $20. This is Bev from My Half Acre Homestead. Not gardening today, not food today. Today, we were cleaning.